Hello there and welcome to my YouTube channel, Julia McNeil Crafts. So I am here with the new JMC Designs release. I'm sorry I'm late. I'm afraid I've not been very well, so I'm a little bit behind with lots of things in life, including sharing this release with you. But my DT have done a fantastic job. I've loved watching Dawn and Laura and Angela's videos. They are ace. They've all got such unique styles that it really is brilliant. So I have to thank my girls for you know, keeping going while I've been out of commission. But I thought we'd have a little play today. The discount code is still valid, so for a 20% discount it's valid until September the 1st, midnight September the 1st, and I will put this in the description box below, but it is all capitals, Princess 20, and you'll get 20% off this. And I'm also going to be doing a live on my Facebook. I do a live on my Facebook every Monday at 8 o'clock, but I'll be doing a live as well with one of these girls. But anyway, let's show you what we've got. So as you may have guessed, it's a princess theme, and princesses have been done 101 times, I know that, and yet we do love our princesses, but I've tried to put my own take on things, so I hope you like. So this is Ariella. Obviously she has been based on Ariel from The Little Mermaid. So what I've tried to do is her coat, I've tried to make the coat look like a mermaid tail. So if I was to take that away, do you know what I mean? We've got a bit of a mermaid tail going on there. Also her dress, I've put sort of like fish scales in there as well, again to sort of denote the under the sea theme. We've got shells and corals as her little accessories as well. So this is Ariella, and of course all the girls have a tiara, so yeah, that's her. Then we have Snow. Absolutely adore Snow. Laura on her video said she would also make a really awesome evil queen if you change the colours, you know, because we've got the apple. So we've got the apple as her skirt, and then we've got apple in her hand and in her hair as well. I love her boots. I don't know many princesses with boots, but yeah, I think was it the adaptation Mirror Mirror? She was very like in the forest, and yeah, I really love that adaptation of Snow White. So I suppose I was maybe thinking that. So I love her boots there. I also think she could look really great all steampunked, with lots of steampunky stuff, cogs and bits and bobs. I think she would suit that. Then we have Cinderella. So again, for her, she looks a bit more like the original, but I've tried to give her a pumpkin shaped skirt, so that's sort of the shape of the pumpkin. The bodice there is sort of like the stalk part of the pumpkin. We've got her glass slipper in the hand, and she's got a little bit of a pumpkin there in her hair as well. So that's Cinderella. And then we have Bella. So Bella is based on Beauty and the Beast, and obviously there's the beloved character Chip, but I've turned that into her skirt. It's something I've done a few times, turn teacups into skirts, so I've kind of gone with that again. So I hope that's okay. And then of course we've got the Enchanted Rose as well, that's a big feature in the story, so that's sort of the main embellishment of her dress. And then we've got the falling petals as they do in the film, but as coming down the side of her dress. So that is Bella. Then we have Storybook Lane. So this is meant to look like basically a row of books on a shelf. But I've included some of the elements that we've seen with the princesses. So we've got the pumpkin roof, we've got the tiara, and we've got the little apple at the side there, just to sort of decorate this little village up. Our Angela has done an ace demonstration on this, where she completely blew up the cup that I'm about to show you. So we've also got the embellishments or accessories, which I've not coloured mine up yet. So we've got the Chip the cup, we've got an apple, we've got a floral, we've got the book, the rose under the glass, and the pumpkin carriage. And what Angela's done is she's really blown up that cup so it's huge, and then stuck the storybooks in it. It's ace, absolutely love it. And Laura has also done a card with just the accessories, so I think she's got the book and the apple and the Enchanted Rose and that looks really cool. And of course our Dawn, as always, I can't keep up with her videos, she does that many, but she's done 2 fabulous ones so far, and there's probably going to be more up by the time I actually put this up, but there you go. So all good, all good, good, good. Right, and then we have our sentiments. So we have, reading is dreaming with your eyes open. Be your own kind of beautiful. All you need is love and a tiara. Some girls are just born with glitter in their veins. Cinderella, proof that a new pair of shoes can change your life. I am the princess of my own fairy tale. And if you have a garden and a library, you have everything you need. So I've gone for some that are sort of princessy, but I've also kind of gone for some that are like about reading and enjoying reading, because obviously our imagination sparked when we're reading, and yeah, this is where my crazy imagination has taken me. So I hope you like the unique twist on the princesses and enjoy them. I am just going to pause the video now, grab some bits and pieces, and we'll make something with one of these girls. Okay, so I'm not overly sure what I'm doing, but I've pulled out this large tack. I bought this from The Works. It's quite thin and flimsy, but you tend to find once you start layering your papers and mediums and bits and pieces on it, it naturally strengthens itself anyway. I've pulled out a couple of papers that I thought kind of went with the colours. These are scraps from the Curious Wonders paper pad. I probably play with some of my new stencils because I can, especially my circle one. I had to make my own circle stencil, let's face it. And then I've got my Under the Sea stamps, which I thought would be quite good for some of the twirly whirly twiddly bits, and my stamped mementos. So let's just see what happens, because right now I'm not overly sure. Let's do some ripping and tearing and see. As I said, we can just see what happens. See what happens. Right, roughly put that there, and then let's get another bit. Another bit up here. And then we've got these lovely hearts. But I'm just not quite sure where they'd go where we don't. Maybe just under there. I'm just gonna, sorry. I can tell I've not made a video in a while. I forgot that I need to talk and craft at the same time. Now I've kind of ripped that so much there's barely any hearts showing. Never mind. I've got one there that I could actually fussy cut out. It's missing the tip, but I'm sure we could disguise that. So we could put that under there. And then if we're doing that, we could probably put one of the remainder strips just there to tie that up. And then we've got this paper here that's got the pink in it as well, which I think works really well. So I'm just going to tear that, seeing as we've sort of gone with a torn edge so far. Anyway, tear that as well because we don't need to waste the paper. There we go. So we've got some bits and pieces of interest going on there. And I want a little bit of blue up here. What do we think? See, this is when it's fun doing the lives, because I can just ask you what you think and you can tell me, and it's great. So if you want to join me for a live, I now do a live every Monday night on my Facebook page, Julia McNeil Crafts, and it's normally featuring something of mine, and we normally have a discount code as well, so you can grab yourself a bargain while you're at it. Right, I think I'm just going to start with that because we need to start somewhere. Sometimes, more often than not, I don't have a direction, but you just need to start and things tend to work themselves out as you go. To be honest, the image was that big and everything, I could have just sort of gone with plonking it down with a little bit of stenciling, and that probably would have looked lovely, and it would have been a nice quick and simple make. But yeah, I've not played in a while, to be honest, and I need that a bit lower down. So I'm in the mood for more crafting. Although I've got loads to do because I'm going to be back on the telly box on the 11th, which is just about a fortnight away now. Yeah, so that's kind of come around quickly. So it's the best of JMC. We don't have anything new. We've maybe got new configurations of things, but best of JMC. But to be honest, I've not taken half the stuff to the telly. Ariella done it. Because obviously with the pandemic I've not been able to travel. The restrictions in Scotland have been a bit stricter than the ones in England, which has kind of prevented me from travelling down. But now we're going down. Hubby's driving me because I'm not quite ready to do that journey on public transport just yet. Besides, they have to have it so spaced out that it may be best saving it for those that actually have to use it. Right, put that there. So yeah, so after I have done this, I have got my take 5 to film for tomorrow as well, but that's also part of, I'm supposed to be getting artwork ready for my new website, which I've not done yet, and I'm weeks behind with that, so I'll probably combine the two. Some of these might go on the website as well if they're nice, who knows. Yeah, so I'm keeping busy. I've had a kidney infection. But I have a duplex kidney, which means I have 3 kidneys. You'd think with 3 kidneys you'd function better, but apparently not. So I'm a lot better. I'm a lot better. I'm just very, very tired. So I feel like, yeah, I'm doing great today, and I get up and I do a few things and the next minute I'm asleep. So we're not accomplishing an awful lot. Right, there we go. Getting a bit of something going on. So I'm going to knock that back because now I just feel it's a bit bright in comparison to our lovely Ariella. So I'm going to pop a bit of gesso on, and it also just ties all of those bits together. And then I think I'm going to do some stenciling. I'm just trying to find a brush. I've actually bought myself some new brushes for going down to Hochanda, and I've not put them out because the chances of me wrecking them, I never seem to have a nice brush that works properly because I seem to just destroy them. So I have bought myself a new set, and it's in the drawer, and it's not going to be opened until the day I'm on the telly. To be honest, I am so nervous. I've only ever done it once, and it feels like a lifetime ago now. It was like February, but so much has changed. I've only done it once. I feel like a total newbie, and of course now the setup's different. You don't have the presenter right next to you because of the social distancing. So I don't know, I'm really quite nervous about going down. So yeah, if you want a laugh you can tune in and see me make a complete mess of things. So yeah, I need to be working on what I'm going to be doing with you then. Okay. That's just, I like to do this as well. It's sort of, when you've put different papers together, it just sort of ties them together. If you have the sort of joining bits like that, it sort of ties it all together. So I'm just going to let that dry. I'm going to grab some of my Distress inks. Let's see what have I got. Right, those are the first ones that came to hand, and I'm not in the mood for rummaging, so they're the sort of colours that I want anyway. So it's all good. Right, let's grab I'll get some circles in. Why not? Okay, so I think I'm going to go for peacock feathers first, and then I may put in some with the picked raspberry as well. So let's get some of these in. I'm just building up layers and texture and bits and pieces like that. There we go. Ooh, pretty. I do like a circle stencil. my all-time favourite stencil is a circle stencil. And the thing is, I use it on everything, and especially like when I'm making samples and things like that, and yeah, I'm supposed to be sticking to my own stuff, I just have my own circle stencil. That's nice. It's like, now this is where having the gesso on's made a difference, because the difference in that there, we've got a lovely purpley tone, but then we've got that bright blue there, and it's just sort of adding to that. Right, so now I think I am going to get the picked raspberry. Let's just give that a waft with the heat gun so we allow the colour to settle a little bit. It's still going to move, but at least if it's dry we might not have it. Sorry, I've got my strip plug is actually above me now. Keep it off my desk. Right, just going to give that a quick waft with the heat gun just so that we get slightly less blending. There we go. Right. Oops, now I'm going to put it. Okay, there we go. Now I'm going to put the circles in a slightly different position to where they were before, and let's get some pickled raspberries. I know it's picked raspberries, but everyone calls it pickled, and I just think that's far more fun. Makes no sense, but I like things that make no sense, as you may have noticed by any of my work. Right, I obviously like this colour combination because the fact I had so many papers with this colour combination in them kind of says it all, really. Right, there we go. We've got loads of circles. How's that looking? There we go. There's a bit of something's happening. Right, the other thing I am going to do while I've got these out is I am going to just really deepen the edges. I am working off a Bee Crafty blending mat. To be honest, I would highly recommend. It's one of those things that I'd intended to buy forever, but then I get distracted by pretty things, but then once you've got it you're like, oh, why didn't I get that sooner? The difference is that the ink is sitting on top of this mat. It's not been absorbed. If you go off from paper, it's absorbing into the paper first, and so you're not getting as an even blend as you come on. And so that'll also just sit there as a palette. I can use that ink that's on there later, and in fact probably what I will do if I don't use it in this project is I will sort of spritz it and put it into a journal, create a bit of a mop-up page for one of my journal pages, and do that. So let's just get this round, but it does make blending so much easier. I just got the small one, but I may have to get a bigger one at some point. Right, so we've done that. Oh, the other thing that I need to replace before I go on to the box is I need a new Pro marker, because this one, you can see where I've chopped into the tag there when I was tidying up my papers, because this one has the chiselled edges dried up, which is meaning I'm needing to edge now with my brush nib, which I don't find quite as easy. But as we know, I have to edge everything, so I will definitely need one of those. So how has everyone been? I feel like I've not been here on YouTube in forever. To thank our Dawn, she did the Dawn and Julia Create by herself this month, just because this time I just couldn't do it. I kept thinking, right, I'll do it, and I was like, I'll see how I am tomorrow, and I'd wake up thinking, yeah, I can do it, and then, you know, I'd have a shower and get dressed and be ready to go back to bed again. So yeah, so thank you, Dawn. Although she did manage to, the challenge was a 1-layer card, and she did 3 layers and convinced herself that was still 1 layer, which I think was quite impressive. Made me laugh. Right, I'm going to, let's get a bit of stamping on here. Why not? Right, so now I'm going to grab some black ink. My new favourite is VersaFine Clear. The only downside to this is it's quite easy to smudge, but you just maybe need to give it a minute before you start doing something else. So I'm going to get some text detail down on this, and I like this one because it's got that sort of circle and swirl in it as well, which sort of suits the theme that we're going for. So yeah, I could put a bit more over this side and maybe a bit up there, just to draw it all together. And I love doing this sort of thing. I just think the more, I just love layers and interest, and the fact you look into a piece and see more and more. Again, I'm just going to waft this with my heat gun because it stays open for longer. And just to dry that so I don't smudgety smudge when I go on to the next section. Now the other thing I could do, seeing as we're working with a blue and pink palette, is I think I've got, I don't have many of the paint pens from Jane Davenport, but look at the two colours I do have. So I might actually just colour in some of these circles, and I'll do some of them blue and I'll do some of them pink, because why not, quite frankly. Just because I can. Because the idea just popped into my head as I was drawing it, and then I thought, yeah, why not? Just, again, just adds that extra layer, extra element to the project. I quite like that. Right, now it's looking good. It's so pretty. Right, I am now going to grab my Under the Sea stamps. Sorry if that's making a big crunkly crunkle in the camera and the microphone even, because now I'm going to add these little elements to create some sort of grass-like element. Now let me see what colours have I got. I think I'm going to stamp in some different colours, just because we can really, and just again add a bit of difference. Right, so I've got some greens and some blues, cottage ivy, bamboo leaves and Bahama blue. So let's see how we get on. I'll also probably need a acrylic block of some description. I've just gotten a little one because yeah, I'm only using the little bitty stamps. So this is the jellyfish stamp. When you start to draw a collection, you have loads of drawings because, well, I do, because my brain just doesn't switch off. But then you have to decide, I'm trying to find the cover for the, then you have to decide which ones you're going to keep. So originally I had a lot more grasses and stuff. I still have one on here, so I've got this grass on there. But originally I had so many more different types of grasses. But then I realised the jellyfish, that could actually double up as a grass as well if you used it the other way round. And also if you kind of caught the edges of things, that you could have it as like coral and things. So that is another use for your little jellyfish there. So I'm going to stamp that up. I'm not going to stamp the whole image, I'm just sort of catching the skirt of the jellyfish, which could be coral, and the leaves, the extra bitties there, and I'm just going to add that because it's going to add some sort of grass effect, or coral, you know what I mean, the little leads. Okay. And then I think I'll put one over here as well, because I can. No other reason, just because I can. Right, now I'm going to switch it out and have this one that does actually look like grass, and we'll intersperse that in amongst. I've switched now to my blue ink, and I'll probably do some of these in black as well. And I'm stamping at different heights, again just to sort of create a little bit of added interest. It looks less uniform as well when we've got it going on at different heights. They are double stamped, so we've got second generation image as well. So we've got that, and then that'll sort of sit into the background now, because if I now get my black ink, and we'll pop a few of these in black, and then we've got that depth, and we've got the sort of lighter images in the background, and then these nice black ones just in the foreground there. So I'll get those down, and then what I might do as well is just to lift those a bit more as we can add the colour in. So I'll just let that dry, because as I said, the VersaFine clear does tend to need just a little bit more time to dry. I'm trying to find it here. You had a bubble stamp somewhere, just looking for it. Right. On as well. And now this is starting to feel a little bit busy for me, so we're going to have to work out what we're going to do next just to pull it all together. But we're getting there, I think. I think as well, maybe I might bring some dark, have it coming in a little bit further. It's like we had the picked raspberry that brought everything in, but now there's so much more going in, it's just not quite strong enough to pull the eye in, so I feel like I need it a bit darker again. So we've done that. I might come in with the Distress Ink Black Soot to really blacken those corners up, but we'll just let that have a little dry. As I said, it's feeling quite busy, but we'll see. It's maybe not too bad. We'll need to do something so that she pops out, whether we lighten it or darken it, we'll have to see. Right, so let's dry this off, just as I said, just the fact it's a really nice black, and it's nice to have the VersaFine Clear for that depth. It does give it a lot more depth, because it really is quite juicy, and it's such a striking black. But the downside of that is it does stay wet a little bit longer, and it's really, really easy to smudge. So, let's try some of these painty pens again, and just emphasise these. I'm just going to do it on the black ones at the bottom here, just to bring these particular coral bits to life. So I'm popping a bit of pink in there, and then a little bit of turquoise. Might be handy if I had a third colour, but I don't. So I'm not quite sure what we'll do there. I might have one. I'll do it in my other colour pens. Do I have? Not a lot. Maybe just white. A Uniball paint pen here. Don't know if that's going to work. Right, I'll just leave that for just now because I don't really know what we're doing. So I think that is looking quite good. But as I said, we've lost, we're needing her to pop out a bit more. I'll just stick her down, and then we'll maybe just try some shadowing probably, and then maybe we need colourful splatters instead of black splatters. Maybe we need like turquoise splatters and stuff like that, just to lift it, and white doodling. Yeah, we'll go with that. Right, let's get some 3D foam here. So let's stick her down and see if that makes a difference to the situation. And as I said, we'll need to get some shadowing going on behind her. I'm just using this up anyway. This is really old 3D foam. I've started using packaging a lot more. This is to hand, so we'll just use that for just now. So get all of that off. Oops. What's your favourite thing for using dimension? Do you like DD foam? Do you use other things? As I said, I've taken to using packaging an awful lot more because I think it's fab. Right. It's taking a little while to get all these bits off though, isn't it? That's the only thing. That's the advantage of the packaging, just slap a wad of bit of glue in the back. It's none of this sort of peeling every single little bit off. I also am beginning to like packaging more because it just feels more user friendly. You just sit there and think of all the spare plastic that goes on to putting your 3D foam on. Right, so we'll put that there. Thankfully, because she's got that white edge, she is popping just a little bit. So I think if we go for a darker colour, so I'm just going to grab my Inktense pencils. I'll take that off because it's reflecting in the light. There we go. I'm just going to grab my Inktense pencils. Okay, so I've grabbed some Inktense pencils. I have deep indigo and charcoal grey because I have a feeling that I'm really going to have to go quite dark to make this stand out. So I'm just going to colour in a little bit there. The reason that I like to use Inktense for that is it moves like a watercolour, which means I feel I have a bit more control. Sometimes with it, when I do it with a charcoal pencil and a paper stub, I find I lose the control quite easily. Whereas I'm sort of comfortable with watercolours, and I find I can get that quite dark in there, but then I can feather it out. The other thing is, once Inktense is dry, then it's permanent because it's an ink, so it doesn't move, which makes it great for mixed media. So that's me kind of gone in dark, and now I'm just sort of feathering the edges of that out so that I've got a softer blend of that colour. The reason that I do this is everything in life has a shadow. Sorry, I say this every single time I do it, and for those of you that are regular subscribers, thank you so much for watching me regularly, and I'm sorry that you're hearing the same jargon over and over again, but in case somebody new comes along, it's worth mentioning it. That everything in life has a shadow. So you put something in front of something else, there will be a shadow behind it. And so it really does add dimension, and it also makes it, I don't know, the project just makes sense when you've got that added shadow. Because as I said, in life you would naturally have a shadow if there were, I mean, you can see that there's a slight shadow there anyway, just with the fact it has been raised, but we're just emphasising that. And it really just adds extra dimension to the project, which I like. So I am going to do that. The only trouble is this is quite a lengthy project. I will sort of go round it, sorry, a lengthy process. I will go round it, and then sometimes I feel it's not quite dark enough. And if that's the case, I'll maybe come in with that charcoal grey and just go a little bit deeper. But what I will do, as I quite often do with this, is I will just pop you on fast forward now while I finish the shadowing. Okay, so that's the shadowing done. I did also just add bits at the edges because I just felt some of this needed darkened up. It's turned out to be a lot darker piece than I expected it was going to be, but there we go. I still just feel it's needing to be a bit darker in certain areas, so I'm going to come in with my black soot and really sort of draw the eye in. Hopefully what this should do is make the centre bits with the colours just pop a little bit more. So I'm just going to just really bring that in quite a bit and see what that does. And then I think I'm going to do some splatters, but I'm going to grab my Dina Wakley sprays because they're an acrylic spray, so they're much more opaque. So I'm just going to do that just to sort of finish it off, I think. And yeah, we'll maybe have a look at some sentiments as well. Okay, so I have put out some tissue paper just to sort of protect my work surface, and also it makes a great drop sheet for stuff that you can use on later projects. So I have grabbed my Dina Wakley sprays. I've got turquoise and I have got white. So I'm just sort of giving them a little shuggle, and I'm not actually going to spray. I am going to take this off. I'm just going to use the tube thing just to splatter. But as I said, the advantages of these is they are acrylic and they are opaque, and I just think I would twist my work, but instead I'm going to twist my hand. Right, so I am going to, I'll just lift those bits of paper because there may, sometimes I find when I protect my work like that, it's fine, but then you get bits that look a bit odd, that look like they should have splatter, but they don't, like for example in there. It feels like there should be a bit of splatter in there, so if I just rearrange that a little bit. That means I can just try and get some just in there. And then I think the other bit place was maybe just down there a little bit. Now Dina Wakley likes these sprays to, she feels like you should let them dry naturally, basically, that they work better. Look at that lovely, it's the start of a lovely page, that they work better if you let them, sorry about that, something's fallen to the floor, they dry naturally. But I'm wanting to layer a few different dots and things, and I want my white to stand out, so I'm just actually going to blatter mine with the heat gun just now. So let's just do that, and then we'll go over again with some white. Just to get that dry, if I just take myself off the camera while I finish that. Okay, so I'm now going to go on with the white. I love these sprays, they are so good. I need to have a proper play with them, to be honest, but I like them so far. I'm trying to do them so those white splodges are really quite white. Again, the advantage is this is they are going to stay really opaque, whereas quite often yeah, white splashes can end up looking quite pale. Right, so again I'm going to just sort of lift and rearrange my pieces. I got my sprays from Bee Crafty. I will put a link below. I know there's lots of places you can get the sprays, but I think it's quite nice to support small independent craft shops. And actually her prices are very, very reasonable. When I got mine, I got them from Bee Crafty, and yeah, they were cheaper there than they were in other places that I have seen them previously. So yeah, so I will put a link, and also with the mat that I was using as well, my blending mat, that's a Bee Crafty mat as well, so I will link to those in the description box below. Right, let's just, I'm going to let that dry and I'm going to play with the sentiment, but I'm not sure it needs it, but we'll have a look. Okay, so I've pulled this sentiment out. Some girls are just born with glitter in their veins, but what I am going to do is I'm just going to chop that down into strips. I'm not bothered about it being straight, as you can tell. I kind of think sometimes they look slightly better, a bit skew if anyway. Right, put those down, and then I think I'm trying to decide whether I want to put a tiny bit of colour on it. Or that's not quite right there. It's great having the overhead. It's like it looks right when I'm sitting down looking at it, and then I glanced up to see the screen, and it looks completely different when you're looking at it on an overhead. Right. Let's see, I'm thinking that all I need to do is edge that in black. I don't know that it needs a touch of colour, because everything's quite dark. But we're fine just having it as it is, like so. Yep, okay, so let's just grab this and edge. I'll edge all of those, because you know that's still essential to life. Well, I thought this was going to be a nice quick tag. In my head I was like, oh, the pink sort of matches her dress, and a few little stenciled circles, and that'll be it. I think it's because I've not played. I have not been in my craft room in ages, and I've not played, and to be honest I've just enjoyed faffing about. So if you've stayed with me throughout all of this faffing, thank you ever so much. I really do appreciate it. The other thing is, stay tuned, I will have a giveaway very, very soon. It was my 2-year tubiversary on the 20th of August, and I was all set, and I have stuff all ready, and I was all set to film, but then with not feeling well it just didn't happen. So I will try and get that up at some point this week. So it is a bit late, but you know, I'm sure you'll be happy with the giveaway and some goodies, whether it's late or not, I suppose. Still an opportunity, so stay tuned for that. Hopefully that'll go up sometime this week. As I said, I've a lot to try and fit in. Lots of prep to do. I can't complain though, you know, it's like how many people would love to have crafting as their job? So I can't complain. I've sort of done the, well, I've still to do some of the paperwork stuff for going to Enchanted, because that's the other thing, it's not, there's lots of paperwork to do, so I've done some of it. I've done my proposal, so that's when you tell them what you're bringing and the quantities and all of that sort of stuff. But you also have to write out information cards with all the details, but we're talking every minute little detail, so the sizes of this, every individual, you know, like the stamp and all the sizes of the stamps within the stamp set, and then the weight of it packaged. So it's a lot of weighing and measuring and writing information down. It is a best of show, so I will have some of it already done, which is quite good, but as I said, there's new configurations, so I need to do bits and pieces just to sort those out. Right, now I'm just going to grab a black pen, and I'm just going to doodle around the sentiment a little bit, just, yeah, it's me. It wouldn't be me, let's face it. If we didn't have a bit of doodling in there, you'd be wondering what was wrong with me. You'd be wondering that whether the antibiotics have had a more detrimental effect than they should have had. So that, and then I'm thinking that because the overall tag is quite dark, something quite galaxy-ish, that is not what I'd intended to do when I started. Loads of Jelly Roll pens, but it's not the one I'm looking for. This is my favourite white pen at the minute, Uniball White. Yeah, I hadn't intended it to sort of, this was not the direction I was going in. But this is why it's just good to play and see what happens. I never have anything overly planned, to be honest. I never really know what I'm doing. I just sort of our Jan, she keeps a book, so when she gets a new release she keeps a book of ideas and works through her list, which I think is awesome. I would love to be that organised. I just can't do that. I never know what I'm doing when I do anything. It just sort of happens. So getting some details on this. Now this white isn't going to stay very white and it's quite hard to go on, and that's because I don't let everything dry. But I kind of just want to get this all edited and up so that you can be viewing it. Okay, so there we go. That is my tag using the brand new Ariella. As I said, if you would like this collection, it is currently on a 20% discount if you use the code Princess20. Please do check the description box below. I will link to the lovely other YouTubers that have done some stuff with this. We also have a Facebook group, JMC Crazy Craft Hive, where you can share your makes with us, and we have a massive team. I think there's 10 on the team. So yeah, and they've all got their own takes, so for lots of inspiration you can check out that, and you can share your inspiration with us, which is what we're all about. It's what we want to see. I will link to my shop, and I will link to the Bee Crafty shop as well, so any information that you need will be in the description box below. Please do consider liking and subscribing, and I will be back with you very, very soon. Okay, take care then, and goodbye.